Japan. To the average Southeast Asian, it's heaven. To the average Japanese salaryman, not so much. We all know about Japan's history, geography, culture, and of course, people. Looking at Japan's demographics, you can see that it is overwhelmingly Japanese, more specifically Yamato Japanese. However, looking through this small slice of this pie, aside from foreigners,
Are you YouTuber?
there are two other people groups in the country, the Ryukyuans, and the topic of this video, the Ainu. Residing in Japan's version of Alaska, the Ainu is an ethnic group distinct from the majority Yamato with their own language, beliefs, traditions, and way of life. As of today, there are only about 25,000 people who identify as Ainu in Japan, but studies suggest the numbers could be higher. Their language and culture are slowly dipping away, but revival efforts keep their identity alive. So, how did we end up here?
In the beginning.
Before the sun rises over the Japanese archipelago, these islands were inhabited by the Jomon people. Then came the Yayoi people who would assimilate or push the Jomon to the both ends of Japan. The Yayoi would later become various rice kingdoms, with the most important being that of the Yamato. Meanwhile, up northern Honshu spawns the Emishi people, while across the straits, the Jomon would develop to the Epi-Jomon culture and later to the Satsumon culture. From Sakhalin, the Okots people arrive, interacting, assimilating, and trading with the island's inhabitants. Heat arises between the Yamato and the Emishi, many submitting and blending with the Yamato, and others migrating to the island up north. For the Ainu and the Emishi, the Yamato would use the term Ezo, which in kanji reads as shrimp and barbarian. By the 13th century, a possible mix of the Satsumon, the Okots, and the Emishi gave birth to the Ainu people. The Ainu would call their homeland as Ainu Mosir. They are a hunter-gathering society with fishing as one of their ways of obtaining protein. Their language is a language isolate, meaning their language has no known relation to other languages, similar to the Basque language in Spain and France. Ainu drip, their casual clothes called atus, are made with this cool tree with one of the most beautiful designs I've ever seen. And footwear, they wear salmon or trout skin called chepkeri. Ainu women will have tattoos around their mouth, some on their arms, while men would don long hair and beards. They live at a village or kotan near a river or a sea and build houses called chise. The Ainu are animists, worshipping nature spirits known as Kamuy, with the most important Kamuy being Kim-uk Kamuy, god of bears and mountains. Bears were seen as sacred messengers of the gods, in which they perform the iomante. A bear cub would be captured and raised. At the ideal age of 2 years old, the bear would be sacrificed, believing its spirit would return to the heavens and bless them.
And Japan said, "How about I do anyway?"
While the Yamato had interactions with the Ainu, they showed little interest in Ezochi. But all changed when the Kamakura shogunate came crashing to the scene, who began eyeing up the big, cold island up north. Ezochi had become somewhat of a penal colony where the shogunate would exile criminals and political prisoners. Side quests, the Ainu also had some showdown on Sakhalin, the Mongols. Because of course the Mongols would. While some Ainu joined the Mongols, many fought and eventually lost Sakhalin. And then the Ando clan opened trade with the Ainu and built up trade posts at southern Ezochi. The Ainu would trade fur and fish, while the Yamato would trade rice, metal, and lacquerware. of which the Ainu would become dependent on over time. Even with all this trading and stuff, conflicts, skirmishes, and battles did occur between the Yamato and the Ainu, as the Yamato did a little trolling by encroaching more and more into Ainu territory and exploiting unfair trade deals.
Stop the cap.
After Japan fell off and rebranded itself to the Tokugawa Shogunate, the Matsumae clan pulls up to the island. The Matsumae restricted Ainu trade, forcing them to only trade with them and cutting off trade with the Chinese and the Russians. The monopolization of the Matsumae resulted to unfair trade and disrupted the Ainu lifestyle and led to a shortage of resources. To make matters worse, gold was discovered in Ezo, and more Yamato came diving deeper into Ainu territory. Tensions between the Yamato and the Ainu are at an all-time high, with many rebellion efforts to quell the encroaching Yamato, the biggest one of which would be Shakushain's rebellion. Shakushain's tribe were at conflict with a rival tribe who were friendly to the Matsumae. This escalated to a full-on rebellion against the Matsumae samurai. The Ainu fought bravely, but they were still no match to the superior tech of the samurai. Shakushain got capped after being invited to a peace meeting by the Matsumae. After that, with fears of Russian influence and expansion, the Tokugawa took direct control of Ezochi. Military rule, Yamato migration, and forced assimilation begins to take place. Men were forced into labor, and women were forced to marry Yamato men. They were forced to give up their language, religion, and culture. In 1806, the Ainu population went down from 80,000 to 15,000 in only 60 years. Goodness. At the advent of the Meiji Restoration and that short-lived samurai republic in Hokkaido, spawned Japanese nationalism, and assimilation and migration policies went insano style. The Ainu were reclassified as former Aborigines because they are now Japanese. The Japanese were encouraged to go manifest destiny to Hokkaido to overwhelm the already plummeting Ainu population. Ainu lands were confiscated and redistributed to Japanese settlers, and they were forced to work as farmers. The Ainu were forced to learn Japanese and have Japanese names. Traditions such as face tattooing and the iomante were banned. Salmon catching restricted. House building and canoe making not in this new government. And some Ainu moved to the big cities for a better life. But fearing discrimination and for their safety, many chose to hide their Ainu ancestry. As depressing as the story of the Ainu is, hope is not entirely lost. During the 20th century, Ainu activists sought for the revival and recognition of the Ainu people and culture, and Shigeru Kayano became the first Japanese MP of Ainu descent, who was from the Ainu Kotan of Nibutani, the Ainu hotland. Museums of the Ainu people were opened. As time goes on, many laws had been passed for the rights, revival, and recognition of the Ainu people. In 2007, the
Banned.
ritual of the iomante had been lifted, but regulated and only in ceremonial form. And in 2008, the Japanese Diet passed a non-binding resolution recognizing the Ainu as an indigenous people. And finally, in 2019, the Japanese government passed an actual law formally recognizing Ainu as Japan's indigenous people. However, discrimination against the Ainu still exists. Many groups and even politicians see the Ainu people as not a legitimate indigenous people group, nor a separate people entirely. Many accuse the Ainu as faking their ancestry for government benefits despite official recognition. Less than 1,000 Ainu lives in Russia, mostly in Sakhalin and the Kuril Islands, who still struggle to gain recognition from that government. While there are about 25,000 people in Japan who has Ainu ancestry, the actual number could be higher, as some Ainu identity had been hidden for so long it has been lost. So, if you ever visit Hokkaido, try visiting an Ainu kotan, attend an Ainu ceremony or ritual, or wander around an Ainu museum. I highly implore you guys to learn and read more about the Ainu, as they have a fascinating culture and interesting history. To learn more about their culture and history, I added links of articles and videos about these topics. And that's for today. Thank you for watching.